So I'm talking about Queen Esther here, and we're looking at her story, which is what Purim is centered in. So I've got here, she was a trauma survivor by design, and what it's like to live with a gift of desperation. So I had seen a very interesting article. It was actually a year ago that I saw it, maybe even two, but it was from Inherit Magazine, 5 things about Esther that nobody talks about. Okay, by Rachel Friedlander. She said that the girls that were taken in, you know, so in this story, the king gets disgusted with his wife because she won't come and appear before men and be paraded in front of them. And so she's banished. So now he needs a new king because he's a new queen because he's lonely. So girls are rounded up, and I believe it was around 1,000 of them. I'm not sure of the number. It was tremendous throughout his kingdom in Babylon. They were approximately 14 years of age. Now, Esther was and her name in Hebrew was Hadassah. She's an orphan being raised by a cousin. His name is Mordecai. She's in exile from being caught up in the Babylonian captivity of all of Yehuda. So she's in exile from her war-torn homeland. So basically, this is what nobody talks about. These girls were raped, this and this is out of her article here. It says this part comes as a shocker to people, even to those who have read the whole Megillah as part of their yearly Purim celebration. But the scriptures are pretty clear about what happened. Absolutely. The virgins, who were likely in their early teens, right? Around 14, 13, 14, right? 15, were escorted to the king, who was said to have been approximately 40 years old of age at the time. They were taken one by one to his sleeping quarters. In the evening, she would go in, and in the morning, she would return to the second harem in custody of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the concubines. This is from Esther 2:14. So they had their one night with the king. All this movie's been made about it, but nobody really talks about the traumatizing situation for these girls.